Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozu Bitmapping World Cup Qualifier Showcase. Tonight we will see 8 entries from 8 different countries who were clashing each other to go to the semi-final. We had a small difference this round. We had the full roster of judges working, so instead of 5 judges we had 7. So it will be more interesting, more diversified, and I hope you will enjoy the entry. But I won't be alone once again. Like last time, we'll be with my wonderful judges. And okay, now you're live. Hello Myxo and Seto Kousuke once again.
Hello.
Hello.
And with us we have a special guest to help us to analyze these cute entries. Welcome YokesPai from Captain from Norway.
Hello.
I hope you guys are doing well.
Well, for now.
For now.
So far, so good. Yeah.
I'm okay.
You're okay. Perfect, because yeah, we have a lot of works waiting for us. We will watch 8 entries. Some of them are really nice. Most of them are really nice. No, they're all nice. Okay.
Thought you were gonna say like some of them are shit.
Nah. I'm not judged.
We are here to roast.
That's not my job. I'm not here to roast entries. That's your job, guys, not mine. Unlucky. Then, let's start with a small recap of our bracket, if I'm able to do it.
Go.
Because we like it.
Oh, okay, let's go.
Nani?
Nani?
No. Maybe I have to put your volume higher. I don't know.
What?
I got message from our cute guy in Brazil, you know. Someone called Pashiru.
Cute.
Yeah, I know.
We all know.
Yeah. So we should maybe start then.
Yay, let's go.
So.
I should probably also explain this. I'm here to give off first impression insights, I suppose. So
And
I
as
have
the most intelligent person here, he's definitely gonna say a lot of better things than we do. So yeah.
oh no, for sure.
So we will start with the cute Australia entry. Australia, who is the entry called Sinistro.
I see.
So Australia lead by Pentori, of course, and his cute team of mappers. I guess we're ready to go in, right?
Yeah.
For the
let's
first
go.
one. Okay then. I did not fucked up. Perfect.
Oh, that looked pretty hard. Just straight off the bat.
It's a 7.23
Yeah.
stars.
Ooh,
I think it's one of the high stars from
It
this
is
round,
the
right?
highest star rating, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
very interesting.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's still like nice to alternate.
Yeah, it's very comfortable most of the time.
Yeah, and stylistically, I think that it's interesting. Like, it reminds me a lot of Australia's entry from last round, except that it does a bit more. Like, it has a bit more pattern variety and stuff. But it definitely it feels like a better version of their previous map, in my opinion, which is cool.
I really do like the aesthetics of this.
Yeah.
A lot of varied ledger shapes as well.
Yeah, and really cool how they mix both. Like some of the patterns are like quite straight with these ladder shapes, and others are very curvy, like very with circular movements, and they complement really well each other.
Oh boy. Some big spikes with the patterns here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the way the 1/4 spacing, the 1/3 actually spacing is handled, that sometimes it can be a little bit. It's probably a little bit too spiky. Like, those circle patterns are just very hard, and then most of the intense sections is mainly sliders, and then that can feel a bit underwhelming compared to what the music is doing.
Yeah, like spikes usually work, and this song definitely supports that, like in several moments. But as you said, like I feel like they could like balance it a little bit more, those spikes of the 1/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 1/3 did seem pretty extreme compared to what I'm seeing right now.
That was a really cool transition.
True.
I'd misread that slow slider.
I think now we have. Yeah, I like this bridge or whatever it is, like this section. Pretty cool to play here, the 1/3 patterns. Although now there's also some more patterns that are a bit questionable with intensity, like some patterns here are feeling a bit underwhelming, and then we soon have like the biggest difficulty spike coming up.
Oh yeah,
I
that
thought
pattern, right?
I thought a pretty good pattern.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
here,
whoa.
whoa!
Oh boy.
Okay, that was
Like
crazy.
that pattern. Yeah. Like I think that pattern's definitely too much in the context of this map, because it's not really comfortable or like not really nice to alternate anymore.
That was way too. I feel like that was way too extreme compared to the rest of the map.
Yeah.
Like the other ones, like they were spiked, but they were like around the level of the gameplay still. But the last one kind of went overboard. Like,
Pretty consistent usage of sliders as well and patterns.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, it's really not much to criticize here at all. It's a nice, clean map and very coherent stylistically as well. Everything works super well together in that regard.
Yeah, like the map as a whole is like very clearly very well made. I'd say the only complaint I would have like is around the spikes, as we mentioned, because they do stand out like a little bit weird in the whole.
Yep.
Okay, maybe YokesPai want to add something before we move to...
Yeah, your opinion here is the most important one.
Okay.
You are the lord here, bro.
I love the aesthetics. The spikes are a bit too much, but overall, I liked how the map was. Some of the flow on the spikes also seemed a bit like uncomfortable. Like it switched off on it switched off on being snappy and being flow a lot of times. Right now, I'm not really sure of if they did it consistently or not, but because I only got to watch through it once.
Yeah. And the god has spoken. Thank you, YokesPai.
Oh, gosh.
Then we can jump directly into the next country we're facing, Australia. It's United Kingdom, of course.
Oh, United 4.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a shame that you have more than 4 mappers in this team.
Yeah, that's so sad. Disappointed.
It should be
Too many.
exactly 4.
The team number 4 led by Sight, of course. And then I guess we will jump into it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The map is really a lot easier than the previous one from Australia. I forgot to tell that the entry is Sarumaru, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, this entry has quite a varied slider design. Like, I think it has like everything in terms of slider designs throughout the whole thing.
I might need to watch this in the editor. The Discord stream is kind of lagging. Might be my internet.
Yeah, no, it's lagging for us too, I think.
Yeah, a little. We can send you the file for the next one.
I already have all of them.
Oh, okay. The god has spoken.
No,
once
No,
again.
I
so
did
they
it.
gave me all of them before
Yes.
just in case.
Oh,
But
GG.
the entry, I really like the stream shapes, and I really like this part that we're watching right now, with like the long, fast sliders.
Yeah,
across
the long
screen.
sliders. Yeah. It's really cool, those sliders, because they do something that usually other
Oh,
maps
nice,
don't
nice.
abuse much, which is like making the player go like from one corner of the screen to the other one in a slider, not in a jump. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty good, nice way of screen usage with those pitch sliders.
Yeah.
The slider shapes are good.
Yeah. And this map also has some spikes, but like usually they happen in a very specific moment, which is with those like super spaced 4 notes. I don't know if that was a reference, but ended up being one. But anyway, like they get progressively like bigger spacing, and they try to not like over make like the spacing so much. So it's really cool how they got attention to that.
Yeah, and for me, this section is where it starts to get really interesting because of how those short sliders are used. Like they are used rhythmically in quite unconventional ways, actually. But
I really like these overlaps.
They work really well with the song. Like they have like this bouncy feeling that the song has in these parts. I found that really cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, nice slider art here as well.
Players got pretty fast. Got it fast there. I actually like that.
And here goes the spacing.
I'm a sucker for varied spacing in streams, man.
Yeah. Same though. And
here
here
we
nice
go.
variations of those patterns.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the map sticks, like apart from the slider shape uses throughout, it's like the most varied thing probably. But other than that, the map sticks to like a few ideas and evolves them throughout the map, which is cool to see, especially in like a team effort like this.
Yeah. Oh, and really cool how they followed the piano in this part. Like clearly, like the peak of the song, and you can see how this has like the hardest patterns of the map. But the spacing logic is still quite similar to the previous parts of the map. It's just that it's executed harder. You see.
Yeah. That's also like my favorite part of the map that we just just cause how also like it doesn't feel like just its own thing, this section, but
Oh no!
God.
Oh no!
oh
Was there a storyboard? No way.
Yeah, it was a small surprise from Team UK. Yeah.
Oh
Got
my
him.
god! Got him! Oh my god!
Can't believe
That's it. I'm gonna vote for the other team. Fuck these guys.
So,
No meaning
so you know what time is it?
band.
Oh, at the time, yes. And I propose that we leave the last opinion for Yokes because it's the most important opinion. So
God
clearly,
damn it.
Yokes is gonna have the spotlight, man. You deserve. Hold on, just a moment.
Because I did really love how they used the sliders. The really big sliders were really nice to watch along on. I really also liked how they performed the streams for the alternate patterns. As I said, I'm a real sucker for those varied space streams. The aesthetics were also I really like those as well. As you said earlier, it takes us some ideas and expands on them, and I love that a lot.
And what score do you think it's gonna be?
If I recall correctly, you said there were 7 judges this time.
Yep, 7.
Yeah.
I feel like they also both entries used around the same rhythm mostly. Yeah, I think it's heavily favored for UK in my opinion. Probably, I'm not really sure how many points I'll give, but maybe around like 6-1, 5-2.
5-2. Interesting. Nice.
Okay.
I'm kind of hoping there's no sweep.
Myxo?
Yeah, like for me, I mean, I liked both maps, but I think that UK's did a bit more, like had a bit more interesting ideas than Australia. and a better better management of difficulty spikes. So yeah, I would personally go for 6-1 for UK. It's my prediction.
Yeah, like I also share similar opinions because I feel like both maps are equally as good, but at least I feel like the UK didn't have like it has spikes, but they were like overall very coherent with the rest of the map, and that's something that Australia kind of lost the trail a little bit, and especially on the last one was too much, and that kind of makes the experience of the map really really weird. So I would say like 5-2 as well.
All right.
So Nozo.
Bless us. Yes, bless us with the actual result.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 7-0 is always.
Uh-oh. Is this foreshadowing?
You that it is a 7-0 for UK.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think I personally I think the spikes weighted more than than I was anticipating.
I can't see that. I can't see that the spikes ended up going
Good
into
job,
being
good
too
job.
much for the judges.
Good job to both teams, though.
Yeah.
I like
Australia,
both countries,
it was a good entry. Like
but I
I
like
said,
UK more.
But yeah, that's a really brutal result, I would say. But even if really the both entries were really good, we have only one remaining. That's how it is.
Oh.
Then we're going to jump into our next match with South Korea versus Russian Federation.
Nice.
Oh boy.
And we will start with South Korea, led by Elia, and the entry was named Yelly.
Yelly. Okay.
You have nothing to say about South Korea yet, I guess, but it's fine.
Yeah, like
I wonder how
it's
many of them
okay.
are watching. It's pretty late for them, or like in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I know.
oh damn, time zone is OP.
I know, right? But Nani? Oops. Oh,
Discord stream's not working for me, but
oh,
Yeah, me neither.
that's sad.
then let's watch on Twitch,
Yeah.
I guess.
I'm gonna check my editor here.
Unlucky.
Yeah, same. Just tell me when you start the math.
Oh, I have bug with my stuff. Interesting. Oh well, maybe it's working. I don't know, but I will see if my seems my OBS is having trouble suddenly.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know why. You know, it happened. Oh no, I know why. I'm stupid. Okay, it's just me.
let's go.
Wait a second. I'm just retarded.
Yeah, don't say that.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay. It's time to go.
Oh, looks like. Wait, is the screen share still work for you guys?
No.
Ah, okay.
Nope. Yeah, I'm watching for the editor.
Oh, it died again.
I'll have to. I have no idea
It's
where we
okay.
are.
Check my stream, Yokes.
Thank you.
We have a nice setup. Yeah, we were very professional.
Yes,
That's good,
professional setups.
Alright, I should be fine now.
Yeah, about this entry, I
Oop. Discord, I love you.
Just
Yeah.
approach.
yeah.
Okay, we're
That's a really
back.
nice approach to something like this.
Nozhomi,
Yes.
is it working? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also really like the aesthetics of this.
Mm-hmm.
Again, something feels very, very coherent throughout the map.
S-Slayer.
Yeah. Like everyone seemed to know like very well the approach that they were going for in the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very nicely done. I really like how the difficulty is pretty consistent around the map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The 1/3s are pretty simple, along with the rest of the map, and I really appreciate that.
And this entry seems to like use a lot more the swing style of the song, so it focuses a lot in the slider leniency, and it doesn't really like make anything break with that. Like as Myxo said, the map overall is like very coherent as a whole. So it's
Another
very
slow
well
player I'd misread. God.
done. Oh man, you really love the slow sliders, don't you?
God.
Yeah. The hit sounding is cool overall, but I found it's like my only real nitpick with the map. Like I found it a bit too simplistic sometimes, and the hit normal just a bit too aggressive to be used on like every sound, like even weak slider tails, stuff like that.
Yeah, those clicky sounds. Right?
Yeah.
I know this map uses a lot of like heavily curved sliders.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they were inspired by something.
I know, right? And I really like this how this last section like
Oh, this last
Take-
section is really good. Yeah.
takes ideas from the map and just executes them like a bit more extreme, like with more curved slider shapes and more spacing, more SV. It
The
works.
overlaps are also very on point. Like there's no like unnecessary overlaps. Like everything has a reason to make the pattern like really well made.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
I
Also?
noticed some repeated patterns as well, which I like a lot because the song does repeat same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. I guess we're ready to move on the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Who will be, of course, Russia, led by Sensible,
Let's go.
and yep.
Oh boy.
Let me change one small thing, and we will be ready. The difficulty was RB Rat 3.
Ah yeah, Herbie Rat. Okay.
And then let's go.
Ooh.
They used an anime background. Well,
Unrankable.
Not rankable.
Already going really strong with these big sliders.
Yeah, like these two entries couldn't be any more different probably in like intensity already. Yeah, and this entry, like something you will see throughout it, is like a really, really cool progression of like a concept of using sliders in the shape of like special like geometry patterns. Like it starts here with these square and triangle shaped sliders, and then it progresses, and there's like so many different uses of these shapes throughout the map, which is really cool.
And they keep getting like bigger and bigger, like as the song progresses.
Yeah,
I also noticed that this map uses a lot of heavy overlapping. with
Yeah.
some,
The hit
those-
sounds as well. Right?
yeah. The hit sound samples
my
are kind of a meme at first, but actually they work so well on, like they go so well with the music, and they are just so fun to listen to.
Oh,
I do have like a kind of complaint about the hit sounding. Like as you said, I feel like it works, but sometimes I get the impression that they're too overused, like in quick succession. So it gets like very spammy. So the meme feeling starts to be like a little bit annoying at some parts. So if a little bit more of control would be like way better, in my opinion.
I did notice the progression with the shapes getting more edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a simple idea, but I don't think many people would come up with that, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's something that you could have seen before, but it's just like it's executed very
Yeah,
well.
it's also just executed pretty well.
Because it's also like, if you look deeper into it, it's not just those sliders, but also like other patterns just being based around those shapes overall.
Yeah.
And it gets progressive, like they get used in progressively harder patterns throughout the map as well. And yeah, I think
noticed
that's,
that the 1/3 stream also started progressing in shape.
yeah, I think that's just really impressive for like a collab to be this, like, to have this kind of progression.
So these patterns are getting pretty hard.
Yeah.
That was quite the spike as well in the transition.
This one just also used some reverses.
Yeah.
So these songs are really are really special.
That's green.
Let's say that.
Yeah, I love how some of the overlaps here are arranged. Like some of the patterns just feel really clever with how these sliders are stacked, for example, these red anchor ones. And that creates a really nice flow as well.
Yeah, it really does. Like, and now like this
awesome.
stream that just happened was also very geometrical, but it flows so well that you don't notice unless you pay attention to it. Like,
Yeah.
because it was really, like very straight. And ending with like a shape, really
Diamond
cool,
shape.
like, to summarize everything.
Yeah.
So,
It's time,
yes, it is.
right? Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let me go first this time then, so we can like keep switching stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
I really liked both. I think they're like they have like very drastic ideas. Like one is very geometrical and the other one is like very curvy, like very flowy, and both are executed very well. But just like the last match, I had to try to identify what the main difference I see in both of them. And I'd say that South Korea executed the idea a little bit better in more aspects, because there's a few moments in this entry from Russia that the straight shapes and the straight slider shapes, they don't really transition that well on the previous streams, which makes a very uncomfortable and harsh movement for the player. So it feels like the concept of the map came in front of the experience of playing the map, and that kind of made me lower a bit of the impression on the map as a whole, even though it works really well. So I would say like it's gonna be a very close match, but I'm tending more to South Korea with a 4-3.
Okay.
So should I go next then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, I think that this match is quite close. Like, I think both entries' strength lie in different aspects, and like I think South Korea one is a bit more gameplay oriented, maybe, but not as creative as Russia. And the Russian entry, like, it really sold me with the fantastic progression of concepts. So for me personally, yeah, it was hard to make a decision, but in the end, also because I love the hit sounding as well on the Russian entry, I personally prefer Russia. But I will say that, yeah, I think it's close, so I say 4-3 for Russia.
Okay.
I completely agree with both of them. This seems really close, in my opinion, as well. I really liked Russia's idea with the shapes and how they progressed with it. It was it's a really easy idea that you could see, but I imagine it took some work to get it through. But as Seto said, it did feel sometimes that they prioritized the concept of these shapes over playability and flow in some of the 1/3 streams. So I feel like that brought a bit down for me, but I still really loved the entry. And for South Korea, I really just love the consistency of the difficulty being around the same throughout, because the song has some spikes, but I feel it doesn't do that much, and I feel like the map should reflect that. So this is a tough call for me as well.
Yeah, I know it's very close.
I think it's going to be 4-3, but I don't know which team it is.
Okay.
Okay, then. It was really close, indeed. Like it was 3-3 until like 1 hour before the judges end.
I see that was my fault.
Oh.
But it is 4-3 for Russian Federation.
Yeah, really close.
Called it.
Early.
So Russia advance and will face United Kingdom on the semi-final.
Oh, that's gonna be very, very epic.
Yeah, already hyped for that.
Mm-hmm. And totally deserved win. Like as we said, like both were really close, and the differences came into like very small things and what like each of the judges like were prioritizing, like trying to be as fair as possible. So yeah, very, very close one. Both are amazing maps. GG.
Yeah.
Very well, then I guess it will be time to move to the top of the bracket with our famous match, France versus Argentina. Of course.
Oh, I want to know the result of this one.
Yeah.
And we will start, of course, with France, who was the entry AWP.
Oh.
Team lead by Real Easy.
Let's go.
Let's go. This match is gonna be very
And
interesting.
of course, with changing the song, we're going for First Noises, Space Angel. And yep, let's go.
Ooh, alright.
Starting directly with a
Big Schleider art.
yeah.
I do have to mention, like, beforehand that this song is it's experimental, you know, but like if you notice, like there's like 2 big chunks of parts that I feel like no one wanted to map. So it was very hard to come up with what to do there. because some people decided to use sliders, some people decided to use like spinners, others use like buzz ladders. So really interesting how the teams like try to invent a way to not make this be boring. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
the song
intro and
does
outro
Nothing.
or intro and outro are super long, and I gotta say, France right off the bat really impressed me with how they map the intro here, because they map like every noise and try to make everything active, trying to avoid just spamming long slider art.
Mm-hmm.
And they still did it in a like the noises are so chaotic, but the map is quite readable and intuitive to play there, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
I really love how they did that.
Also, I don't know if it was the same for you, Myxo, but like we have this, as I said, there's two big chunks of stuff no one wants to map. But besides that, to me at least, this song feels like there's two clear moments. The song before 2 minutes and 20 and the song after 2 minutes and 20, because it's where the song actually changes like to very different rhythms, and like literally every single team that mapped this song did something amazing with that. That was so
Yeah.
hard to do.
True. Yeah, and like the thing about this song is that the second half of it is a lot more rhythmically interesting than the first one, just from the music. I think France also did a really good job at mapping that first half. Like with I've said the same about every of France's entries in this competition, but basically they have a really high attention to detail with the rhythms and patterns they use. Like it feels like every sound is just represented in the perfect way, like in each pattern.
Here we are to the 220 moment.
Yeah.
The usage of overlaps here, like I think it's really cool, like for repeating sounds. Really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And now the second big chunk of stuff no one wants to map.
Yeah. This one is even like I think the outro is even more boring in the song than the intro is,
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
and also harder to map the noises because they are quite dense. But we will see here how France handled it after these slider arts. Really love the slider arts here though, because of they don't just look nice, but they also go with like the little nudges in the sounds really well.
Yeah. The spinner, I think they got tired of sliders, so like yeah.
Yeah.
Which
And
is a
now
good thing, yeah.
Yeah, here in this noise section, like again, like in the intro, France just handled it really well for me while keeping it nice to play and but also engaging.
Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, the ending like is chaos in the rhythm. So like pulling out something that like feels good playing that is really amazing. So yeah.
Yeah.
It felt very chaotic, but also it felt like it made so much sense at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, I think you're done with France entry, so let's move on to the second one with
Yep.
Argentina. The entry was Noodles, lead by Maestro Splinter, of course.
Let's go.
And
Hermanos.
so Noodles. So if you don't know what sliders go brrr, I think you will understand with this entry.
Yeah, definitely.
True.
Sliders goes.
And then with that, let's start.
Are you gonna skip the?
No,
the
I'm
intro?
not skipping because it's fun.
Okay. Just so I know to synchronize here.
Yeah. Same here.
So people can enjoy the background. Really,
Yeah.
really nice.
Really good. Yeah,
You
really
gotta
good
say,
background.
yeah, like last time, Argentina's entry 10 out of 10 background right off the bat. Okay. Yeah, so here we have a different approach to mapping this intro. And I think here also, like, they did a
Okay.
nice job on representing the different, like, when the sound just slightly changes, the sliders also have, like, some indication.
Yeah.
And
Like
this
for
heart-
example, this heart. This is a really good example. Like a very
It's a perfect
distorted
mix.
heart. Like really.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, this beeps with the.
Yeah, this is done with hit sounding.
contrast.
Yeah, the hit sounding. Like we have to mention that the
That
hit
sounds
sounding
pretty
of the
good.
map. Yeah, like there's a lot of sound that doesn't exist in the song, but it feels so great that it looks like it's from the song. Like it's really interesting.
Yeah,
Boy, this map really went hard immediately.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and here it's the case. Like I like this section.
Oh my.
I like this slider a lot.
Yeah, and the hit sound complements it so well. Like,
Yeah, but I have to say that while I was judging it, I noticed
Oh my
that rhythmically it's not 100% accurate sometimes. Like it felt like it skipped over some sounds of different layers, like in kind of inconsistent way. Which is probably not really noticeable on stream, but other than that, this part's really well mapped. Really fun to play as well.
Yeah, one of the examples of the rhythms, I think, it happens like on the after the 2 minutes and 20, where there's like a very loud snare that lands on a slider tail, and while everything is gonna be very interesting, people are gonna see, but the rhythm feels a little bit weird on the gameplay in some patterns. The contrast in the sections are really cool, and yeah,
Oh
the sliders goes through.
And now we have the really cool part.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Oh,
man.
that was nice. I love that.
I just love how these sliders are used here. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
And it stands out even more than it did in France entry. They like the creativity here is really impressive. And the different patterns they created with these distorted sliders.
It's really impressive because not only all the patterns are like they flow in a different way, but they work both going from one direction to the other, and that's what makes this back and forth really interesting to play because it doesn't feel weird at all.
Yeah.
And then a big nice slider for contrast right at the end as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Although I do
That
have
was,
to say,
that was a really cool concept.
yeah, I do have to say I love so much that section that everyone loved, I think, but I think the rest of the map, like particularly the intro and outro, is a bit like I think they could have done more to make it interesting for gameplay. Because these long slider arts, like they look nice, but they don't really provide much gameplay wise. It's a
Like
hard
for example, the beeping idea from the beginning complemented that really well. So just keep repeating sliders. At some point, gets too repetitive. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a bit stunning, but I need your conclusion and prediction for this match.
Myxo first, go.
Me first. Okay. So yeah, this one was extremely close for me because, like I said, it definitely, like first impression wise, France was consistently really good, and even the intro and outro, which I think no other country really managed to map that well as they did, that engaging to play as well. But then Argentina just has this climax that just where the creativity felt way higher than in France, and it just stands out so much. It's just so impressive. But then I gotta say, like looking more into it, and I really felt that the rhythm in France was just so close to the song, especially in that first half. And in Argentina, it was a bit lacking for me, and some other stuff that, yeah, by looking more into details, felt like France was just executed a bit better for me in the end. So personally, I would go with France, but I think it's gonna be close. So I'm saying 4-3 for France.
A close one
Yokes.
first. Okay. YokesPai, please. You're next.
Alright, okay, my
Yeah,
turn.
you're next.
Alright, not gonna lie, I've completely forgotten how the first half plays in both of these entries. The second half was just a lot more to take in and just left more of an impression. So that's what stuck, really. But, sorry about that. Brazil's second part stood out a lot more for me than France's did. With the way they handled all the red anchors and stuff like that. Those really big web sliders were insane. I cannot believe someone came up with that idea. It looked so cool. And it really, that impression is really gonna stick with me.
Mhm.
I did really like France's entry as well, though. But the way they handled was pretty nice, and I really liked how the shapes and stuff went off.
The vote, the score.
And score, it's big. But this is because I did forget how the first part plays, because Myxo did talk about that. So
It's okay.
it's probably going to be close. I'll give a 4-3 to Brazil, probably.
It's Argentina.
Argentina,
It's not
it's
Brazil.
Oh, it's
Unlucky.
It's
Argentina.
Argentina.
Oh, oops. oh, okay. I made that mistake the whole time. Okay, well done.
Okay.
Oops.
Yeah, basically everything was said about both entries, and although like France map was like outstanding, as I said, to me personally, I feel like there's two moments in the song, which is the 2 minutes and 20. That part just stands out so much, and France's entry felt like it was really great, but it felt too similar to the previous parts because the contrast wasn't that big. Like it was still like spacings with sliders, some kick sliders here and there, and basically the same idea used in different ways and different stuff. But it was the same idea. And Argentina, even though like I agree with Myxo, like the rhythm wasn't as impressive as, for example, the France had. That it had so much more ideas that made the map feel very memorable. Like the hit sounding is just amazing, and it complements not only the song but the map as well, because the slider shapes, the movements, everything was following the hit sounds too. So it was very coherent as a whole. And that KI is like I don't really have words for that. That first time I saw that, my head exploded. That was amazing. So I feel like they just took the song to the next level. So I would go like with 5-2 to Argentina. Even though it's very close, I believe that it's gonna be 5-2. Like that's gonna cater to other judges a bit more, in my opinion.
Okay. Really interesting. I saw a lot of 7-0 on the chart for Argentina, which is quite interesting.
Well, it already can't because I said that I voted France, but unlucky
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, obviously 7-0 is not happening, but it was close. It was a 6-1 to Argentina.
Oh
Wow.
my.
Wow.
I thought that was going to happen. Something like that KI simply demolished stuff. That was, yeah.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, like, I don't know, Myxo, about you and the other judges, but like personally, before BWC, I didn't knew much about Argentina's mapping. I only knew like Maestro, but every single entry they've been putting up so far to me is like always in the top 3 best entries from the round. So I'm actually impressed with how they are doing in this tournament. So yeah.
That
is true.
second part just really left an impression. I think that really just took up so many points for the judges, but I don't know. It definitely did for me.
Yeah.
Well, there is only one match left now.
Oh.
It is Vietnam
Brazil.
versus Brazil. Yes, it is time. We will start with Vietnam Intermezzo.
Wait, who is Vietnam?
Intermezzo.
So
Intermezzo.
Let's fight Intermezzo.
Man, first seed knocked out in quarters.
Lead by Elemtich, and let's go in now.
Alright, no skipping the intro, I assume.
Yeah, no skipping. We love the song. We want even the
We
smoke
can analyze the
sound.
background.
Yeah.
Yay.
Is that a drone?
It is a
Yeah.
drone.
It is a
like
draw.
Oh,
It
they
looks
let the
like-
gun down. Wow, mistakes.
it looks like LMT picked this BG right from the bat. I can tell. Okay. Yeah, this entry has a kind of similar approach with using like mainly long sliders for the intro, but I think what makes them different is that their SV is significantly higher than
Yeah.
in the other maps.
That does make it more engaging.
Yeah, and they even the sliders even use like the shapes to be challenging to aim with those like right angles and stuff we just saw. So yeah, I thought that made this part really engaging.
Yeah, and not only that, but when you have like those ladders being very fast, this point where it goes very slow feels way more emphatic. So that's a really cool approach.
Yeah, gives a way bigger contrast on the slow slider.
Here we have some.
Oh my, that was fast.
Here we have some tech mapping.
Yeah.
Like I like this section how it represents different sounds with different slider shapes and speeds. But I thought, like my usual complaint, that it was a bit rhythmically less representative of the song than it could be at parts. But that only applied to that first section. But from here on now, this entry actually becomes rhythmically extremely interesting with how it uses these 1/6 rhythms to create like it uses not just mainly sliders but also active rhythm to create some really interesting emphasis. And I also love how they've been using those special slider shapes that we just saw in that part to really support the movement of the map rather than just serving aesthetic purposes.
And we do have to mention that making an entire section with super curvy sliders and still make it like play well and look nice, it's so hard. And they nailed that. That's really, really great.
Yeah. Also love this section with the like really short sliders. Like remember that this is the same section that we saw in Argentina with the like extremely fast distorted sliders, and this is like the complete opposite, but it also works.
I do really like the contrast between the fast sliders and the slow ones.
Yeah.
Okay, this one ends pretty early. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's like my main issue with the map. Like it ends, like it skips the outro, which is understandable considering the song. But yeah, of course, not mapping it is kind of a mad decision. Then, especially if you have to compare it to the other map, especially because it stops at before 80%, so it's technically unrankable. So yeah, that was definitely a consideration for the judging here.
Oh
But
yeah.
And also, like, it kind of makes the, at least to me, I feel like it lower a bit the impression of the map because, as I said, like in the previous entry, this is a part no one wants to map. Like, it's boring. Everyone knows that. Like, compared to the Pog moments, obviously it's more underwhelming. But considering it's a competition, you have to prove you can make something better than your opponent on those moments as well. So it's a bit sad to see that they decided to cut the map so short, but yeah.
Yeah.
YokesPai, any word before we move on to the final entry?
I've read some of chat and I do agree that mapping the not mapping the outro does seem fine as well, because it is mostly just going to be a slow part, and that could be like they made the intro engaging with the faster sliders, but that might not be as possible with the outro. So I can see how they wanted to not do that, so the map would still be
Yeah, it's
or the map would keep its engagement throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, like I can definitely understand the decision, especially if this were just like a map going for rank, then yeah, I would totally support. Just think it's a bit weird in a contest when obviously the other entry mapped it, so it's kind of hard to compare.
Yeah, like in ranked maps, leave that sound to the ranking screen, right? When you play, it works a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well, then it's time for our final entry. It is Team Brazil with the last entry, Echo,
Alright,
of
Echo
course,
is a good diff name.
led by Neto. And
There you go, the,
I guess
the actual Brazil entry.
yeah,
Yeah,
the real
actual
one.
Brazil.
And if you're ready, then let's go.
Alright, okay. I have started it. They make the very first sound. Oh,
Yeah. So this entry does something extremely cool with hit sounding
Yeah.
in this
Indeed.
intro. Like, it adds so many sound effects that sound like they come straight out of a horror movie. And it tells like a story through the hit sounding. It's actually incredible.
oh my, these sliders.
Yeah, all this sounds like this groan is like it's all hit sounding. And I think that's really cool because, as we said several times, how can you make a boring part feel interesting? And they took a different approach. Instead of doing that through slider shapes, let's do that about hit sounding. That's very
Oh.
interesting.
Oh, that was real. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the hit
That's really
sounding,
good sound.
the sound effects continue throughout the map as well, even when the intro is
Yeah.
over.
This heartbeat is really cool when the song is gonna actually start.
Yeah.
That's a really cool use of hit sound.
Mm.
Heartbeat.
Yeah, and here we have like it's also like a tech map, but it feels different from the other entries. It feels a bit more like less in your face, maybe with the patterning, but it's actually quite good at representing the song.
Yeah, and also like they did something really cool with the reverse arrows. Some sliders are like longer than usual, but due to the reverse arrow and the high SV, it gives a really nice effect instead of just like using more clickables or kick sliders. So really, really cool.
Oh, yeah, those reverses are nice.
Yeah, and then soon we have the
I noticed that both of these maps map the part that would be the break in Francis Century.
Mm-hmm.
and now it
Oh,
just kind of
nice.
goes crazy.
Yeah,
And
and
the
the hit
KI.
sound is really good.
Oh my. Those sliders go really big.
Yeah, like these patterns here are really interesting, I think.
The
They-
flow seems a bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like,
Like they look really cool visually and they feel creative, they are flow-wise a bit inconsistent, yeah, and some of them play better than others, but I definitely think the creativity is there.
Yeah. And the spikes at the ending.
Yeah, like
With the whispers, like really cool, man. Like as Myxo said, like some flows better than the others, so that took a little bit of stuff on me as well, because I feel like the last few sliders were a bit too harsh on the gameplay side.
Yeah, I
But
felt that as well.
still coherent,
Yeah.
kinda, yeah, but too harsh.
I still really like the idea though.
Yeah, and like mixing those last few sliders with the whispering thing or the breath, or I don't know what's the best word for that, like gave a little bit more of impact for this overall thriller theme of the map.
yeah.
Oh man, those players are. Oh. That last slider.
Yeah, the last slider was really cool.
Right after the part where there's like no SV at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, Yokes first now.
Oh boy, back to me being first. Okay, see, Vietnam and Brazil. Let's not screw up the countries this time.
Yes, it's Vietnam versus Brazil. Yes.
Oh wait, we're just on Brazil. The slider shapes were really interesting. I really liked the way they did it. It felt a bit similar to how Argentina did it, but only slightly. The way they handled some of the shapes at the start were like, I had to question whether it was rankable really quickly, because they do just like they almost loop into themselves. And it was really really interesting to see this. I like the rhythm choices as well.
So what's your prediction?
You're scoring your YokesPai.
I feel like I need to take another look at Vietnam's again real quick.
Okay, then let me go first then. So,
Thank you.
like, this was a really hard decision for me. Probably the hardest of the round, just because, like, again, I thought both entries had their benefits. Like on Brazil, I just love the hit sounding, what they did with that. I love the creativity in the intense part, but I also thought that some of it wasn't executed that well for gameplay. And like the concepts, for example, yeah, like some of the concepts they used in the intense part weren't introduced that well. And yeah, that's basically that for Brazil. And Vietnam, I really liked it overall, especially the second half of it. But then I was disappointed that the outro wasn't mapped. And yeah, so like that's why it was hard for me, because there was like it was really hard to compare these two, because they just were good and or bad in totally different aspects. But in the end, I still prefer Vietnam very slightly. So I would say it's 4-3 for Vietnam.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. I basically agree with everything that Myxo said, and I think Myxo, you mentioned that this one was the entry that you had like a lot of stuff written on the feedback, right, for the vote.
Yeah, my comment on this is 6,000 characters, so you guys can prepare yourselves to read everything.
Yeah. When I was judging this one, I felt I was going towards the same direction, so I just like decided to keep it simple. But here's the thing, like Myxo said, I feel like Vietnam had let's say a better structured map. The execution didn't have as many as inconsistent stuff as Brazil had, but two things mostly made me lower the opinion on that map, which is, well, first of all, the ultra thing. I still don't like the fact that they decided to simply not map that, because this gives me two stuff to think about. The first one is, since they didn't map like 28% of the song, that means that they have less room to commit mistakes. And that's a lot. And the second one is, as I said, it's a competition. No one wants to map that boring part. So just ignoring that, I don't know. If I was a competitor, I wouldn't like that decision. I think it's kind of disrespectful to the other team. And in the chorus, like in the Kiai, in the Pog moment, I liked the slow slider idea, but I felt like it was too weak compared to the rest of the map. And that moment, at least to me, I feel like it's a very important moment of the song. And although Brazil's execution of the map wasn't as on point as the Vietnam, I felt like they had more ideas and more stuff to bring to the map. The hit sounding, the choice of theme was really, really incredible, and that made the boring parts not feel as boring because they are very interesting to pass by. So, yeah, I'd say it's still gonna be very close because it depends on what you prefer. As a map, I'd say that the Vietnam works a little bit better, but as a whole, I liked Brazil's entry more. So I'd say 4-3 to Brazil.
Okay, YokesPai, you have your score now?
I'm taking the looks.
Again?
I did really like both entries. Brazil's outro, or Brazil's second half, was it was a lot, and I feel like some gameplay elements were a bit ignored on some of the parts, whereas Vietnam had a more like consistent way of lining it up in gameplay and aesthetics and all that. And I don't think that not mapping the outro is that big of a deal, because even if it does make out a lot of like 27%, as you said, it is mostly just noise. Although the way Brazil did add to that with its hit sounds was a really interesting idea that I also really liked. But I do think Vietnam's was a bit more consistent in terms of how it was pulled off. So 4-3 to Vietnam is my score.
Okay. So we have everyone getting their prediction right now for it. So it's time for the final result. It is 4-3 for Brazil!
Wow.
Wow.
It was really close.
Wow.
And I think a lot of people were rooting for Vietnam, myself included. But no, Brazil continue to do their miraculous run into the tournament.
Vietnam has been sent to Brazil.
Vietnam has been sent.
Oh god, the chat's so mad right now.
Yep, but don't worry, you will have the world judge comments available soon, so you will be able to read them properly. And yeah, so I think now we can take a look at
Oh, lol. Actually, I do want to say something because I feel like Brazil people are gonna hate me. But if I had to choose someone like who I think is gonna win that beforehand, I'd say Argentina has way more on its back on the entire tournament. I feel like Brazil's gonna have to really do something out of the box and execute that very well, because so far I don't really see Argentina's entries having issues or things that make their maps like have like penalties or anything, at least. So, and Brazil always had like a little bit of problem in the execution, a problem in the consistency. So yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting match.
Yeah, and I think UK versus Russia is also gonna be very interesting. Simply because these entries are gonna be like the complete opposite of each other. but probably both really good. So yeah, we'll have to see who takes the cake on that.
Battle of Giants on the UK and Russia. That's
Yeah.
gonna be really fun.
I've been reading the Discord chat and the normal chat. Wait, what am I talking about? Sorry. Oh yeah. I have high hopes for Argentina. Their map just blew me away, honestly. I never thought I'd see that ever. That concept was just so insane, and I loved it. United Kingdom and version is probably gonna be pretty close. They both have interesting ideas, and I really like maps from both of those countries, so I'm hoping for a close match there.
Every single map on this one was like simply amazing. Like, it's so hard to choose one. It really is very hard.
Yep.
Okay, so we have one last thing to do. Is to reveal the music genre for the semi-final.
Ooh.
So here we go. We have electronic, metal, and novelty.
Please, map metal.
Yeah,
Map
guys,
metal.
map metal.
Let's go metal.
We want the metal. Okay, you heard the call for metal. They want metal mapping, so please team, do something.
Oh, please, you guys already ignored breakcore. Please don't make me cry, map metal.
Yeah, it was really sad to miss the break course, John, sadly. But yeah, that's the three genres that the team will have to pick and ban to have the remaining one. And I think that's it. We're like at the end, so maybe you want to say a last word before we're leaving?
Well, please don't kill us. We're just trying to judge. Please don't be so harsh on us. And yeah, I hope you guys had fun.
Thank you so much for letting me join. I was really nervous before this, but I feel pretty chill right now.
Yeah, the god has spoken.
Then perfect. For myself, I will thank, of course, all our judges, all 7 judges who worked on, of course, this session, this quarterfinal. Was pretty intense, but we did it. I will thank you guys for joining me for the commentary. It was pretty nice, and thanks a lot to everyone who joined the stream. And I guess we will see you for the next time for the semi-final showcase. See ya!
See you. See you.
Yeah.
Hello.